The observatory stood silent against the backdrop of New Mexico's starlit sky. Dr. Marcus Rivera adjusted his telescope, fighting back a yawn as he recorded another set of stellar measurements. At 45, he had spent more nights watching the stars than he could count, but something felt different tonight. The data readings were showing unusual patterns, rhythmic pulses that didn't match any known celestial bodies. Marcus ran his fingers through his graying hair, squinting at the monitor. After 20 years of searching for extraterrestrial signals, he had learned to temper his excitement. Yet these patterns seemed deliberate, almost like a message written in light. "Computer, run analysis protocol beta 7, he commanded, reaching for his lukewarm coffee. The machine hummed to life, processing the strange signals. Marcus leaned back in his chair, his mind wandering to the colleagues who had mocked his dedication to SETI. Waste of resources, they'd said. Career suicide. The computer chimed, pulling him from his thoughts. The results made his heart skip a beat. The signals contained mathematical sequences far too precise to be natural phenomena. As he studied the data, the observatory's lights flickered, and a low hum filled the air. A soft voice spoke behind him. Your persistence is admirable, Marcus Rivera. He spun around, nearly dropping his coffee mug. A figure stood in the shadows, tall, slender, with skin that seemed to shimmer like starlight. Its eyes held an otherworldly iridescence, shifting colors like aurora borealis. I am Lyra, the being said, its voice melodious yet somehow genderless. We have watched you for a long time. Marcus gripped his chair, his scientific mind warring with the impossible reality before him. We? Who are we? Lyra moved forward with fluid grace. We are the Watchers, guardians of universal balance. Your work, your dedication to understanding the cosmos, has not gone unnoticed. Why now? Marcus managed to ask, his voice barely steady. Why reveal yourself to me? Because darkness approaches, Lyra replied, raising a hand. A holographic image appeared, showing vast ships moving through space. There are others like us, but they do not share our benevolence. They seek to harvest your world's potential, to exploit humanity's unique gifts. Marcus stood slowly, his fear giving way to curiosity. What gifts? Your species possesses something rare, the ability to dream beyond your limitations, to defy the expected path of evolution. This makes you both valuable and dangerous in the cosmic order. Before Marcus could respond, alarms blared throughout the observatory. Lyra's form tensed, the starlight beneath their skin pulsing rapidly. They have found us sooner than expected. Who has found us? Marcus asked, but he already knew the answer. The Harvesters, Lyra said grimly. They seek to prevent this meeting. You must come with me now, Marcus. Earth's future depends on what I must show you. The building shook, and through the observatory's dome, Marcus saw lights descending from the sky, not the gentle glow of Lyra's presence, but harsh, angular shapes that cut through the night. I don't understand, Marcus said, backing away from the windows. What could they possibly want with Earth? With me? Lyra's expression softened. You have spent your life looking up at the stars, searching for answers. But the greatest secret lies within humanity itself, a power that could reshape the universe or destroy it entirely. Another tremor rocked the building. Lyra extended their hand. Time grows short. Will you trust me, Marcus Rivera? Will you help me protect your world? Marcus looked at his life's work, the telescope, the computers, the years of research, then back at Lyra. In their eyes, he saw truth, and something more, hope. He reached out and took their hand. Yes, he said, and the world dissolved into light. When his vision cleared, they were no longer in the observatory. They stood in what appeared to be a chamber of living crystal, its walls pulsing with colors he had no names for. Through transparent sections, he could see Earth below, a blue jewel suspended in the velvet of space. Welcome, Lyra said, to the Nexus. Here, We monitor the threads of possibility that bind all sentient beings. And here, Marcus, you will learn why humanity's destiny has become the focal point of a cosmic war. Marcus stared at his homeworld, his mind reeling with questions. But one thing was certain, his life's search for extraterrestrial intelligence had led to something far greater than he could have imagined. As Lyra began to explain humanity's true history, he realized this was only the beginning of an adventure that would challenge everything he thought he knew about the universe and humanity's place within it. The Nexus hummed with ancient power as Marcus followed Lyra through corridors of living crystal. Each step revealed new wonders, holographic star maps, flowing data streams that seemed alive, and windows into distant worlds he had only dreamed of studying. Your people believe they are alone in the universe, Lyra said, leading him to a central chamber. This isolation was by design. We shielded Earth, allowing humanity to develop without interference. Until now. The chamber walls shimmered, displaying scenes from human history. Marcus watched in awe as civilizations rose and fell, each image more vivid than any historical record. I don't understand, he said. Why protect us only to reveal yourselves now? Lyra's expression darkened. Because the harvesters have discovered what we long suspected, humanity carries a genetic legacy from the ancients, beings who mastered the fundamental forces of creation itself. The chamber filled with new images, impossibly advanced civilizations, technologies that defied physics, and finally, a great cataclysm that swept it all away. The ancients vanished eons ago, Lyra continued, but not before seeding various worlds with their potential. Most species never activate this dormant gift. Humans are different. Your creativity, your ability to imagine and reshape reality, these are echoes of ancient power. A warning signal pulsed through the Nexus. Through the crystal walls, Marcus saw dark ships approaching Earth, their designs angular and predatory. The harvesters seek to extract and weaponize this potential, Lyra said grimly. They believe they can force the evolution of ancient powers through genetic manipulation. They have done this before, leaving countless worlds barren in their wake. Marcus felt sick. How can we stop them? There is a device, hidden on Earth millennia ago. The ancestral key. It can awaken humanity's dormant abilities naturally, allowing your species to defend itself. But if the harvesters claim it first, they will use it to force an artificial awakening, destroying humanity in the process. The chamber shook as energy beams struck the Nexus's shields. Lyra's form flickered with urgency. You must help me find the key, Marcus. Your connection to ancient genetics makes you sensitive to its resonance. Already, it has been influencing your work, drawing you to search the stars. Marcus thought of his years of research, the patterns he discovered that his colleagues dismissed. Those signals I detected, they were from the key. Yes. It calls to those with the strongest ancient heritage. But we are not the only ones who detected its awakening. The Nexus shuddered again. Through the windows, Marcus saw harvester ships deploying smaller craft toward Earth. Their brutal efficiency sent chills down his spine. We have no time, Lyra said, extending their hand. A small crystal materialized in their palm, pulsing with inner light. This will help you sense the key's location. But be warned, the harvesters will send their own agents. Trust no one. Marcus took the crystal, feeling its warm resonance. What about my life, my work? I can't just disappear. Your old life ended the moment we met, Lyra said softly. But in exchange, you have the chance to save your entire species. Another blast rocked the Nexus. Alarms blared as sections of the crystal structure began to fracture. The shields are failing, Lyra announced, their form becoming translucent. I must transfer power to the defensive systems. Marcus, listen carefully, seek the places where ancient myths intersect with astronomical alignments. The key was hidden in plain sight, waiting for humanity to evolve enough to recognize it. You're leaving? Marcus asked, panic rising in his throat. Only physically. I will guide you when I can, but the harvesters cannot be allowed to track my energy signature to you. Lyra's form was barely visible now. Remember, Marcus, humanity's greatest strength is not the ancient genes you carry, but your capacity to exceed all expectations. Trust your instincts. With those words, Lyra vanished. The crystal chamber shifted, and suddenly Marcus found himself back in his observatory. Everything looked exactly as he had left it, except for the small crystal humming in his palm and the distant lights of harvester ships descending through the atmosphere. His phone rang, making him jump. The caller ID showed a government number. It was starting, the race for humanity's future. And somehow, a lonely astronomer who had spent his life searching the stars for answers had become the key to Earth's survival. Marcus pocketed the crystal and headed for his car. He had research to do, and very little time to do it. Somewhere on Earth, an ancient power waited to be found. The only question was, who would reach it first? The ancient library at Alexandria wasn't what Marcus had expected. 3 days after his encounter in the Nexus, he stood in a hidden chamber beneath the modern city, surrounded by walls of crystalline data storage that predated human civilization. The crystal Lyra gave him pulse stronger here, resonating with something deep below. Fascinating technology, isn't it, Dr. Rivera? Marcus spun around. A woman in a black suit stood in the doorway, her stance military. Behind her, 2 more agents blocked the exit. Agent Diana Vale, International Security Division, she said, stepping forward. Though that's not really important. What matters is that we share a common interest in preventing an alien invasion. Marcus gripped the crystal in his pocket. How did you find me? We've been monitoring your work for years. The recent energy surge at your observatory caught our attention. Then there's your rather sudden interest in ancient Egyptian astronomical alignments. She smiled. We've known about the Watchers and Harvesters longer than you might think. If you know so much, why haven't you done anything? Politics. Diana shrugged. Try telling world leaders that Earth is a cosmic battleground. But now that the Harvesters are making their move, we need your help. The crystal pulsed warmly, a warning. Marcus remembered Lyra's words, trust no one. Why should I trust you? Because right now, 3 Harvester scout ships are entering Earth's atmosphere. We have facilities that can help you locate the key before they do. As if on cue, the ground trembled. Diana's comm unit crackled with urgent voices. Time's up, she said. Come with us or watch the Harvesters tear this city apart looking for you. Marcus felt the crystal guiding him toward a different truth. He backed away. You're not what you claim to be. Diana's eyes changed, becoming darker, inhuman. Clever. The Watchers chose well. Her form shifted, skin turning metallic. But not clever enough. Marcus ran, deeper into the ancient complex. The crystal pulled him forward as transformed agents pursued. He rounded a corner and pressed his hand against a wall panel that seemed to call to him. Ancient machinery hummed to life. A hidden door opened, revealing a vertical shaft descending into darkness. The crystal's glow intensified. Without hesitation, Marcus jumped in. He fell for what seemed like eternity before landing in a cushion of energy. The chamber he found himself in was massive, its walls covered in the same crystalline technology as the Nexus. Well done, Marcus, Lyra's voice echoed. A hologram of them appeared. You found one of our emergency sanctuaries. Those agents, they were harvesters. Infiltrators. They've been placing operatives in human power structures for decades. The real Agent Vale is probably locked in a facility somewhere. The sanctuary's screens activated, showing harvester ships descending on major cities worldwide. They're making their move, Lyra said grimly. The key's energy signature is growing stronger, drawing them in. Then help me find it first. I am. Lyra gestured, and the chamber filled with overlapping star charts and ancient maps. The key was hidden at a nexus point of ley lines and astronomical alignments. Your ancestors built their most sacred sites over these points, sensing their power. Marcus studied the patterns, his mind racing. The pyramids, Stonehenge, Göbekli Tepe, they're all markers. Yes. But the key itself. Lyra's form flickered as explosions rocked the sanctuary. It's hidden where the oldest alignment intersects with humanity's first dreams of reaching the stars. The pieces clicked in Marcus's mind. Cape Canaveral. The space program, we were drawn there because the key was calling humanity to the stars. Lyra's image destabilized. Marcus, my connection is failing. The harvesters are blocking our communications. Get to Florida. Find the key. Remember, it will recognize your ancient genetics. How will I know what to do with it? You already know. The knowledge is in your DNA, waiting to be awakened. Trust yourself, Marcus. Humanity's potential is greater than you imagine. The hologram vanished as another explosion shook the sanctuary. Marcus checked the crystal, it pointed southeast, toward Cape Canaveral. Somewhere beneath America's gateway to space, an ancient power waited. The only question was, could he reach it before the harvesters transformed Earth into their latest harvesting ground? Emergency lights flashed as the sanctuary's defenses engaged. Marcus found an access tunnel marked with symbols matching his crystal. Time to run again. The race for humanity's future was entering its final phase, and he was the only one who could ensure humanity got the chance to reach its true potential. Cape Canaveral lay in chaos. Harvester ships filled the sky, their dark forms eclipsing the stars Marcus had spent his life studying. He crouched behind a defunct rocket display, watching alien troops patrol the space center's grounds. The crystal in his hand pulsed urgently, pointing toward Launch Complex 39A, the historic site of humanity's first steps toward the moon. They haven't found the entrance yet, a familiar voice whispered. Marcus turned to find Diana Vale, the real one this time, her face bruised but determined. The harvester who impersonated me. She kept me imprisoned, trying to extract information. I escaped when they mobilized. The crystal remained calm, suggesting she was telling the truth. Why help me? Because I've seen what they do to worlds they harvest. Earth deserves better. She checked her weapon. My team has a plan to distract them. You'll have 10 minutes to reach the complex. Explosions erupted across the facility. Harvester troops moved toward the chaos, leaving their position exposed. Diana nodded to Marcus. Go. He sprinted across the open ground, the crystal guiding him. The launch complex looked different up close, ancient patterns hidden in its modern architecture. He pressed his hand against a seemingly ordinary wall panel, and ancient mechanisms whirred to life. A hidden elevator appeared, its design a fusion of human and ancient technology. Marcus stepped inside just as harvester reinforcements arrived, their energy weapons scorching the ground where he had stood. The elevator plunged deep underground. When it stopped, Marcus found himself in a vast chamber that dwarfed the facility above. At its center stood a pillar of light, pulsing in sync with his crystal. The ancestral key, a metallic voice announced. The harvester leader emerged from the shadows, her form shifting between human and alien appearances. Thank you for leading us to it, Marcus Rivera. More harvesters appeared, surrounding him. The leader smiled. Did you really think your primitive genetics could unlock its power? We've spent millennia perfecting the extraction process. You mean destroying worlds, Marcus countered, edging toward the key. Evolution requires sacrifice. The ancients understood this. Why do you think they vanished? They ascended, leaving behind fragments of their power in species like yours. We simply accelerate the process. The chamber shook as battles raged above. The leader raised her hand, energy crackling. The key, Dr. Rivera. Now. Marcus looked at the pillar of light, feeling its resonance with something deep in his DNA. Lyra's words echoed, "The knowledge is in your DNA, waiting to be awakened." "No," he said. The leader sighed. "Then we'll take it from your corpse." She fired, but Marcus was already moving. He dove toward the key, his hand outstretched. The crystal pulsed one final time and dissolved, its energy flowing into him. The moment he touched the pillar, everything changed. Ancient knowledge flooded his consciousness, not as raw data, but as an awakening of something that had always been there. He saw the ancients rise, their transformation from physical beings to energy, and their decision to seed their potential throughout the cosmos. The harvesters attacked, but energy flowed from the key through Marcus, creating a barrier. He understood now, the key wasn't a weapon or a tool. It was a catalyst, designed to awaken humanity when they were ready to reach for the stars on their own terms. "You never understood," he told the harvester leader, his voice resonating with newfound power. "The ancients didn't vanish. They evolved. And they left their legacy to species who would choose their own path, not those who would force it." The key's energy surged through him, connecting with every human on Earth. In that moment, humanity's dormant potential began to stir. Not with the violent awakening the harvesters sought, but with the gradual blossoming the ancients had intended. The harvester leader screamed in rage, launching a final assault. But humanity's awakening had begun, and not even their advanced weapons could stop what was to come. Light emanated from every human population center on Earth, visible from space as a web of awakening consciousness. Marcus stood in the ancient chamber, the key's energy flowing through him, connecting humanity in ways he never imagined possible. Through this connection, he felt millions of minds awakening to their true potential, their collective consciousness reaching toward the stars. The harvester leader staggered back, her form destabilizing. "What have you done?" "Given humanity a choice," Marcus replied, watching as the ancient knowledge integrated with human consciousness worldwide. People weren't being transformed into energy beings or gaining godlike powers, instead, they were awakening to the full spectrum of their natural abilities, their minds expanding to embrace possibilities they'd only dreamed of. Lyra materialized beside him, their form more solid than ever. The awakening succeeds. Humanity chooses its own path. The harvester ships above began to retreat, their carefully laid plans undone by the very power they'd sought to control. The leader made one final attempt to attack, but her energy weapons dissipated harmlessly against humanity's awakened potential. "You've doomed them," she snarled. "They're not ready for this power." "We've always been ready," Marcus said. "We just needed to discover it ourselves." Through his connection to the collective awakening, Marcus saw the changes rippling across Earth. Scientists suddenly understood principles that had eluded them for centuries. Artists perceived new dimensions of creativity. Children dreamed in frequencies that bridged the gap between thought and reality. But most importantly, humanity remained human, their newfound abilities tempered by the wisdom to use them responsibly. The harvester leader and her forces retreated, their ships vanishing into deep space. But Marcus knew this wasn't the end, it was humanity's true beginning. "The harvesters will return," Lyra warned. "And we'll be ready," Marcus replied. "Not as the beings they wanted to force us to become, but as who we were always meant to be." The ancient chamber began to transform, its technology integrating with humanity's awakened understanding. Similar transformations were happening worldwide as hidden ancient sites activated, becoming centers of learning for a new era. "What happens now?" Marcus asked, feeling the key's energy stabilize within Earth's population. Lyra smiled. "Now, you take your place among the stars, not as conquerors or victims, but as equals. The Watchers will help guide you, but the path you walk is your own." Through the chamber's crystalline walls, Marcus saw the first signs of humanity's transformation. Cities were evolving, clean energy replacing pollution. Space programs worldwide were advancing decades overnight as awakened minds collaborated across borders. The changes weren't instant or apocalyptic, they were thoughtful, measured, born of humanity's unified potential. "And you?" he asked Lyra. "Will you stay?" "My role changes. I become an ambassador between our peoples, helping Earth join the greater community of awakened species." After all, they smiled, someone needs to explain why humans do the remarkable things they do. Marcus looked at his hands, still glowing faintly with the key's energy. He was different now, yet still himself, changed but not transformed, awakened but not transcended. Just like humanity itself. Above, the stars beckoned. But this time, humanity would reach them on their own terms, carrying forward both the legacy of the ancients and their own unique spirit of exploration and creativity. "Ready?" Lyra asked, gesturing toward the surface where a new world awaited. Marcus nodded, feeling the pulse of billions of awakened minds, each contributing to humanity's new chapter. "We've always been ready. We just needed to remember who we are." Together, they ascended toward a future where humanity's dreams of touching the stars had finally become reality, not through force or external intervention, but through the awakening of potential that had been within them all along. The story of humanity's cosmic isolation had ended. The story of their journey among the stars was just beginning.